Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Folks, today it has happened. This is what we've been waiting for. XRP hit a new all-time high today. As of the time I'm recording this, the all-time high is $3.52 according to Live Coin Watch. You know what this means, right? We are officially in price discovery for XRP. For the first time in over 7 years. The last time XRP launched into price discovery, it was 2017. It's 2025 now, but we were right. And look, this would have happened sooner if not for all of the SEC nonsense, of course, but here we are. It's happening right now, and we were right. We are absolutely vindicated. So let me just say, fuck yeah, let's have some fun. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. This is going to get way more ridiculous before this thing peaks. Way more ridiculous. You got to understand, like, the market's not overheated right now. We're not seeing top indicators. Things are directionally going the way we think and hope. And I'll show you what's happening on the dominance charts for XRP and Bitcoin in this video. We're sitting pretty, though. Let me just tell you, we are sitting pretty. There is tremendous strength behind this. And XRP is just playing catch up after being artificially suppressed for the better part of, like, I don't know, half a decade or so. And look, this is just a fun celebration video. I'm going to share with you reaction from a ton of different chart analysts because, like, we deserve this, folks. We have been through hell and back. There's no community that has been through more trash and more bullshit than the XRP community, but here we are, and we were right, and we won. And now our net worths are substantially higher than they'd otherwise be. And again, this thing is just starting. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, it is 5:40 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. It is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. XRP at the moment slightly down from the all-time high, but still in price discovery mode at $3.48. Bitcoin's kind of playing nice at the moment. It's at $120,238. I'd like to note that XRP is the top performer again out of the top 10 coins by market cap, up 13.78% over the last 24 hours. That's way higher than the other coins in the top 10. In fact, Cardano's number 2 by that metric, and it's only up 6.31% over the last 24 hours. And look at this volume. XRP volume at over $15 billion over the last 24 hours. I actually saw it peak above $16 billion. And I want to note, that's about 16 times higher than normal. But what is normal, though, is that when a chart gets cindy, like it's happening with XRP, when it goes into bull mode and price discovery, that's exactly what you should expect. 16 times higher. And like, retail's just starting to flow back in a bit. And I'll talk more about that in a separate video, but my God, just to see XRP at this price level with this little attention on crypto, even though some people are starting to flow back in, and without top indicators, you have any idea what this means? This bodes very well for, if XRP can hit this price level before that type of mania, like we're not in pure euphoric mania in crypto and XRP's already here. How high do you think the son of a bitch is going to go? I'm going to hazard a guess here, a lot higher. I'm not going to make a price prediction. I never have, never will. That's just not my shtick. But I'm voting with my dollars, right? I've already invested in XRP. I think it goes way higher. Here's my post as soon as I found out that XRP had indeed hit a new all-time high. This is at 4:12 p.m. Central Time, so just an hour and a half ago, actually. And I wrote, XRP at $3.43, new all-time high, bitches. And here we are. Like, it's real. And then we entered price discovery and it went even higher. So I hope by the time you're watching this, it's even higher. Now, to be clear, there will be pullbacks along the way. If we, as soon as we see one, which is inevitable, it doesn't mean this thing is over. But there's so much strength in XRP right now. Tons of it. I want to briefly mention that, there's just a little something about the all-time high. There's a common misconception, and I've been battling it a lot on X today, there are lots of people that are insisting that the all-time high for XRP has not been hit. They're saying that it's $3.84 because that's what the all-time high is listed as on CoinMarketCap. And on Live CoinWatch, as you can see, the all-time high is listed as $3.92. That is not correct. And I've covered this many times on my channel, so I'll be brief here, but I do want to make sure that people are aware of this. And here's none other than David Schwartz, one of the creators of XRP and the XRP Ledger, explaining why this is. And he was responding to somebody who was noting that $3.84 is not the all-time high. He tagged David Schwartz in this, and David Schwartz responded with the following. Referencing the $3.84 figure, he said, "That is often reported as the all-time high, but you could not actually sell XRP for $3.84, nor did you have to pay $3.84 to buy it. That number included inflated amounts due to the use of official currency exchange rates for Korean exchange rates." And so there's a whole thing, there's a whole article on this from Investopedia covering this, and you can Google it if you want to learn more. I'm not going more in depth in this video. It's called the Kimchi Premium. But no, the all-time high from last cycle is like $3.35, depending on which exchange you're looking at. That was the all-time high. And so here we are. We're absolutely in all-time high territory. Unquestionably, we are. So don't listen to anybody else that tells you that we haven't hit the all-time high yet. They are factually incorrect. And I'm telling you that there was literally never an exchange where that was the market rate for XRP. There's been no instance where there is an exchange ever in history where the market rate of XRP was that price. Nowhere on the planet. And if you say I'm wrong, bring the source to me, because you should be able to pull that data. You should be able to pull that data from an exchange, right? Yes, you should. So you should be able to prove it, but you can't because it doesn't exist, period. And then there's this. This is just astonishing here. So this is a website. This is companiesmarketcap.com. And they list top assets by market cap, but they blend different asset classes. So it's got precious metals, it's got stocks, it's got crypto. And so you can see gold's the #1 asset on the planet, $22.4 trillion worth. Bitcoin's number 5, $2.39 trillion. We got Amazon here at number 6. But take a look at this. XRP's climbing this list. It is on the front page. It is now number 80. XRP is the 80th most valuable asset on the entire planet. And this is after years of artificial price suppression. XRP has a market cap of $206 billion. That's the highest it's ever been, folks. It's absolutely wild. Over $200 billion market cap. This is what I've been dreaming of and believed could happen since I jumped in all those years ago in late 2017. Now, it's not done. I believe it goes way higher. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, I believed it would enter price discovery again. I firmly believed it. I was insistent because it's valuable. And humans don't tend to discard technology that's useful, adopted, and valuable. Like, they don't do that. And so here we are. The market's catching up, and now we got a level playing field. The war on crypto is over. I'll talk more about that in a separate video because there are some developments today. But hallelujah, folks. Oh, by the way, here's a post from the blockchain backer who's backing up what David Schwartz had to say and what I said. And so, and I was talking about this. So there are a lot of people sharing this. And so I guess I posted, when did I post this? 6:39 a.m. And the blockchain backer, by the way, it's not that he copied me. Tons of people posted. He shared this at 7:41 a.m. I'm glad that this has been circulating heavily throughout the XRP community. I saw it from somebody else, and then I reposted David Schwartz's comment here also. So spread the word. If you see this, like, spread the word. More people need to know about this. It's kind of surprising that there are so many XRP community members who still don't know this. But anyway, blockchain backer was talking about, they said XRP's 2018 all-time high was $3.40. Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, Bitstamp, Bitfinex, the list goes on. That list was $3.30 to $3.40. The $3.84 myth was something no one paid, received, or witnessed in USD. It was a Korean currency exchange issue. Price discovery is above $3.40. And so we're there now. Here's a post from the blockchain backer at 1:06 p.m. This is before we got into XRP USD price discovery, but the XRP market cap was at an all-time high already. I said XRP market cap at all-time high. And the reason that hits first before XRP price is because the circulating supply for XRP has increased since the last time XRP was in this price range. And of course, to calculate market cap, you take the circulating supply multiplied by the current market rate. So given that the circulating supply is higher, it doesn't take that much. It takes less anyway for the market cap of XRP to get into price discovery mode and to get to an all-time high before XRP USD does. And so here at 4:07, right as XRP was getting into price discovery mode, the blockchain backer shared this 4:07 p.m. He said, XRP, after 7.5 years, welcome to a new all-time high. Folks, it is glorious. This is real life. This has happened. This is what we've been waiting for. And it's only going to get better. How many times have I told you over the years, one day you just wake up and XRP is just running? Well, that's today, folks. That's today. Son of a bitch, it's right here. Today is the day XRP, you wake up and it's just running. Oh, you love to see it. XRP community member Frecky reposted that from the blockchain backer. He's been around in crypto since 2011. He has an actual decades-long career in finance, by the way. And so he's been here pretty much from the beginning. And so he said, soon, media will learn. Soon, most will learn. Then they position. Hope you are already loaded up. Well, I'll speak for myself. Absolutely, I am. I put a completely unreasonable amount of my United States dollars into XRP over a span of years, and I capped off that dollar cost averaging that went on for a span of years with a few larger purchases towards the end. And then I decided if I didn't stop purchasing, I had a serious problem, and I'd need some sort of support group to make me stop buying XRP. So I did stop, and then I spent the next few years diversifying into other coins. But XRP, it's now safely over half of my entire crypto portfolio because it's just been running insanely. I was right, and so were you guys. Take a look at this, XRP Dominance. This is just going back the last 3 months here. You can see that recently it was as low as what? Somewhere around 3.7, maybe 3.8% dominance. That's how much XRP fell after hitting the all-time high earlier this year. Look at that climbing. 5.39% dominance as I'm recording this. Now, lots of analysts think that the dominance is probably going to get close. This seems like a realistic expectation. Some say higher, it depends on who you ask, but maybe closer to like 15%. So even just that would triple the price of XRP. So XRP, again, hovering around $3.50. That would put it over $10, $10.50 roughly, just for quick, easy math. But that's at, keep in mind, and this really matters, that's at the current value of this crypto asset class. The current value of the crypto asset class is a little over $3.8 trillion. So say that doubles, which wouldn't be crazy. Say that doubles and it gets, like to 7.6 trillion. Well, then that 15% would put you at over $20 XRP. So you can get up there really quickly. And so I don't know if that's going to happen. It's not a prediction, but that ain't crazy. That's the type of stuff that absolutely can happen in crypto. And it could go higher. There are lots of reputable analysts who are insisting that the most probable outcome this cycle is that XRP is going to peak between $20 to $30, and some think even higher than that. Not crazy. I don't know if it will happen, but it's not crazy. That type of stuff happens in crypto. Here's Bitcoin dominance tanking. Look at this. It's down to 62.37%. Recently, it was as high as about 66%. Now, I know percentage-wise it's only down a few points, so it's not like some crazy drop, but directionally it's doing what you would want and hope it would do, and it's picking up in recent days, the speed at which it's falling. And this thing could probably go, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it dropped somewhere between 35 to 45% dominance by the time you hit peak euphoria here. So, you can use this as a top indicator, but we're nowhere near the top if you're using this as a top indicator, so that's good. It's just good that Bitcoin price is going up while dominance for Bitcoin is going down. That is what you see every cycle. That is happening right now. And XRP dominance is going up. This is perfect. This is exactly what you would expect based on historic precedent. This is normal and it's great. You'll love to see it. So this is going to get much lower, though. Like, it's clear that Bitcoin dominance, it's broken. Like, it's absolutely breaking down. And that means that Bitcoin also, if history's rhyming with itself, it's on its last parabolic leg to the upside, which would also make logical sense. And I buy that narrative. Absolutely, I do. Here's a post from chart analyst Matthew Hyland. This is from this morning at 9:50 a.m., before the new all-time high for XRP. And he said, Ethereum and XRP have both broken out against Bitcoin by making higher highs. If it confirms on the weekly, then it's nearly impossible for dominance to go higher if Ethereum and XRP are beginning uptrends against Bitcoin. Which means dominance will come down, Bitcoin accelerates up, and alts prosper. Folks, that's exactly what I just told you. This is what I've been saying. I've said I said it this cycle, I said it last cycle. It's just true. It's just a thing that happens. It happened last cycle, it's happening again this cycle. And I was saying it a lot leading up to this point. Of course it's true. And so he's right. He's hitting the nail on the head. So we still got some time. This is the part where things get absolutely ballistic. And like most of the gains actually come at the tail end of the market cycle during the euphoria. That's what's ahead of us. So time-wise, we're through the vast majority of this market cycle. It's almost done. But in terms of the gains, the most important gains, those are actually ahead. That happens at the tail end of the market cycle. So makes sense to be excited. Here's a post from Andreas Steno Larson. Not somebody I'm familiar with, but 261,000 followers, so seems to be pretty popular here. But sometimes I just share posts from people talking about XRP when they pop up in my feeds. Just to kind of get a little bit different mix here. But he says XRP and Ethereum both have Syndit charts now. And that's absolutely correct. Ethereum's been running too. It hit close to $3,500 recently. I guess yesterday. I think it's slightly below that now. But you would want and hope that would be the case, because Ethereum, when it starts rocketing, that historically kicks off alt season. This is exactly what you want. Here's a post from my fellow XRP YouTuber Alex Cobb. He says, XRP is literally going to flip Ethereum soon, and there is nothing that can be done to stop it. Well, I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but I buy the narrative. I think that there's a very good chance that's going to happen. I will not be surprised if XRP takes that number 2 spot by market cap. There's historic precedent for it. It's happened several times in the past. I'll not be surprised to see that happen again. And so if you're talking about XRP getting closer to that market cap, even if XRP just got to where Ethereum is in market cap, that doubles the price. XRP would be sitting close to $7 just to catch up to Ethereum. That ain't crazy, folks. You see, and this is why the analysts that are talking about, $15, $20, $25 for XRP, this is why I don't think they're crazy. I don't know if it will happen. Again, I'll say it again. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's definitely not crazy. You can get up there very, very quickly. Here's a post from Credible Crypto. This is from December 17th, 2019. So about a year before the SEC sued Ripple. 2019, Credible Crypto, one of the best analysts in the space. He shared this with now he's got 471,000 followers. He had way fewer back then, of course. Well, we all did. But anyway, so he wrote, within 4 years, this XRP will buy me a Lambo. What color should I get? And he shared this purchase of XRP. When XRP was 18 cents, he spent $10,000 on XRP when it was 18 cents per coin, which got him 53,692 XRP. And he said, within 4 years, this XRP will buy me a Lambo. And he reposted that today after XRP went into price discovery and hit a new all-time high. And so and what time did he post this? 4:31 p.m., so about 25 minutes after XRP entered price discovery today. Credible Crypto shared that and wrote, current value of this position equals $186,000. Folks, that's right. He spent $10,000 and he still has it, and it became worth $186,000 purely by waiting and by doing nothing, which is exactly my strategy. It's what I've been doing since 2017, precisely nothing, and it works. And then he wrote, took a tremendous amount of flack at the time for suggesting that XRP would see new all-time highs again. Took a bit longer than expected, but here we are. Okay, yeah, it took longer than expected, but I got to defend him a little bit. The SEC sued Ripple, effectively attacking all XRP holders on the entire damn planet. So it might have had a little bit to do with it. Otherwise, his 4-year time frame, yeah, it would have hit. I firmly believe that. Last cycle, absolutely. 2021. Look, understand, XRP is the only top 10 coin last cycle, the only one that didn't hit a new all-time high. The only one. It was also the only one being attacked by the government. Coincidence? I don't think so, folks. And so here we are. We were right. Total vindication. Price discovery. We win. Here's chart analyst XR Punky. He said, price discovery with a little face melt emoji and a little rocket there celebrating. Here's a post from chart analyst Pintoshi. I got two. The first one's from 12:01 p.m., so XRP was obviously jumping, but it's before it hit its all-time high today. He says, XRP keeps grinding up, now sitting at previous all-time highs and waiting for price discovery with substantial tailwinds coming, it seems. And then he reposted that at 4:33 p.m., so close to a half hour after XRP did enter price discovery. And Pintoshi, and he's one of the more popular analysts out there in crypto, 872,000 followers, he reposted that and he wrote at 4:33 p.m. today, XRP has now begun price discovery. I think in the next few weeks we see $4.25 minimum, in my opinion. Potentially quite higher, but one step at a time. Yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of time. This thing, price discovery doesn't stop here, folks. I'm talking about full face-melting price discovery. That is what has just begun here. The true face melt part, we get to look forward to that. That's coming. But No. No, we ain't there yet, but it's exciting because we're at the beginning phases of it. Here's a post from X-Force Global. This is at 2:36 p.m. this afternoon, so XRP was running, but it was only $3.38, just 2 cents below the all-time high. And he says, if I listened to all of the XRP haters over the past years, I'd be broke for generations. Congratulations to everyone. And isn't that the truth? Because there were a lot of naysayers, weren't there? Here's a post from Cyflux, and he wrote here, as XRP hit $3.53, he posted this at 5:01 p.m. Central Time. He said, if you invested in XRP, remember what all the Bitcoin maxis told you. You're a clown, XRP holders. Exactly. That is what they told us. They said we're all clowns for buying XRP, and they're toxic as hell, and they were wrong. XRP, it's fallen out of the top 10, it's going to zero, blah, 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 blah. How'd that work out for you, you idiot sticks? XRP is just destroying Bitcoin. XRP has made Bitcoin its little tiny baby back bitch. That's exactly what's happened. It is devastating Bitcoin in terms of price action. How you feel about that, you little toxic bitches? I feel great about it. Do you feel great about it? No, you do not. But you're also functionally idiots. Then there was also this. This is a phone. I covered this at the time. Chart Analyst Zoom said, hey, Coin Bureau, they have the largest YouTube channel about crypto on the planet. I can't remember how many subscribers, but I think it's well over 2 million at this point. I have to look it up though. But not long ago, I guess he doesn't have a date in the screen grab here, but it looks like it's probably the middle of June based on this chart here. I remember covering this. I knew it was in recent times here, but there's this post from Coin Bureau, and I made a video ripping this to shreds because it was so stupid. So Coin Bureau wrote, XRP won't see $3 anytime soon. On-chain data paints a bearish picture. New XRP wallet creation is down nearly 80% since January, and daily active addresses just plunged from 577,000 to 34,000. Is confidence in the XRP fading fast? Oh, so I really enjoyed ripping this to shreds, and it was so stupid. Just in a nutshell, what they're talking about, I mean, data-wise, it's true. Yeah, there were plunges. Why? Because the market had a local peak in January, including Bitcoin, including a ton of coins. And most of the coins went down substantially. XRP, it dropped from the all-time high, but then it spent like half a year just consolidating safely while other coins were dropping. The whole market went down, and they were picking out XRP because they're disingenuous, and they're not to be trusted. They are disingenuous. They wanted to drive a narrative that XRP sucks and it's not doing well. It wasn't true. XRP was outperforming other coins. XRP is the top performer since November. XRP is, even today. It was then, and it is now, the top performer out of the top 100 coins by market cap. And they put out this tripe to scare people and drive a narrative because they suffer from XRP Derangement Syndrome. But we were right, and we're still here, and they can suck it. You know, I have no shortage of eggplant emojis to give them, and they can place those eggplant emojis in and around their facial region. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Zoom also, $4 XRP income, and he posted this at 4:58 p.m. So just about an hour ago. He thinks it's coming sooner than later, $4, and I will love to see that. Here's a post from Dom. He's the co-founder of ECA, so he's actually building on top of the XRP ledger. And he wrote at 4:21 p.m. here, after the all-time high was hit and price discovery started. He says, everyone who ever bought XRP is now in profit. Damn straight. You love to see it. You freaking love to see it. Here's a post from ChartingGuy, and this is at 4 p.m. here. So this is minutes before XRP entered price discovery. And Bitcoin was... because part of the day, so while XRP was climbing, Bitcoin was going down a bit. And XRP was still climbing, but then XRP pulled back slightly at certain points, even though it was trending up throughout the entire day. And that was kind of frustrating. Multiple people pointed this out, including ChartingGuy. But here he said Bitcoin started to jump, got above $120,000. And he said Bitcoin started to play along, but XRP is fighting all-time high sell wall. And minutes later, it was over. Burst through it now in price discovery. Look at this. So the post I just shared with you was from 4 p.m. This post is at 4:09 p.m. And he wrote here, XRP all-time high. Celebration mode, baby. You'll love to see it. Here's Crypto Insight UK. XRP all-time high, sharing his anime gifts here, which he does when XRP price starts to go ballistic. You'll love to see it. I'm glad that those gifts are back. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos. This is from 4:40 p.m., about a half hour after the, after XRP entered price discovery. And he said, we are just getting started. So everybody's celebrating here. And look at the consolidation. And what did I freaking tell you guys? I've said it so many times this year. XRP, historically, gets one big pump in the cycle, then it consolidates half a year, and then it pumps again. That happened in 2017. It happened in the 2020 and 2021 cycle. And it happened again now. Now we know for sure that it did happen. It was about half a year. The same thing 3 cycles in a row. History rhymes with itself. Do you believe it yet? It just does. Doesn't perfectly repeat, but yes, history rhymes with itself. It just happened again. We had one pump in November, and then it peaked in January. We consolidated for about half a year, and then bam, we just entered price discovery like clockwork. Like freaking clockwork. Absolutely astonishing. You love to see it, folks. Oh my God, what a time to be an XRP holder. I'm just elated. I can't tell you just how great this feels. Total vindication. Total vindication. This was like the last real piece, the price discovery. I mean, unless you want to say face melt, but really, like, we're in price discovery. Even if it goes back down a little bit by the time you're watching this, as analysts keep saying, dips are going to be brief and shallow, and they're going to get bought up, and then we're going to resume to the upside. We are entering the final euphoric, I'd say the final phase of the market cycle, and it is euphoric. It's going to be anyway. The true euphoria hasn't started. Yeah, we're excited here in the XRP community, and we should be, deservedly so. But the whole market, it's going to get ridiculous. And boatloads of retail speculators are going to come in, and they're going to chase green candles, and it's going to drive prices way, way higher than they are, which happens every damn cycle. I've been counting on this since 2017. I haven't sold a single XRP in my entire life, but I'm going to. Not at these prices. I want to see it much higher than this. But I fully intend to. And if I'm presented with prices that are enticing to me that would result in life-changing wealth, I will sell either the vast majority of my XRP or all of it. And then when we enter a bear market, inevitably again in the future, I'm still going to be earning new money, and I will start a new XRP position. I will do it all over again because I believe in XRP for the long haul. Now, I'm still going to have to sell because, if there's life-changing wealth at hand, I'm just going to take it. Like, of course I am. But in terms of long-term viability, I still firmly believe that XRP makes sense, and I will create a new position and do this all over again. And I'm going to keep running this YouTube channel. We get to do it all over again and get even more wealth. It's not going to stop. The opportunity won't go away once we enter a bear market. There's new opportunity there. I'll still be excited there. I will be buying so much stuff on the cheap, and then we'll be there for a few years, and I will spend a few years at about break even or down on pretty much everything I invest in for a number of years, which is what happened when I jumped into crypto the first time. And that's fine. And then when the market picks back up, it's going to be worth a fortune again. That's what I'm going to do. It's rinse and repeat, folks. There's so much opportunity, and you are in the driver's seat. You are the one. You can just choose to be rich if you want to. If you want to participate in this, you can just choose to be rich. You just invest in the asset class. You have broad exposure, not just in XRP, even though I'm biased. It's my favorite coin, but you get broad exposure, and then you wait. And sometimes that means you're at break even or down for years, especially if you start buying at the beginning of a bear market. That's what that means. And I went through that. For the first few years I was buying XRP. I was at break even or down. Most of the time I was actually just down. And that was normal, but I expected that. And I just kept buying because I believed what I believed, and here we are now. And that is what it takes to get rich in crypto. Like, that's it. You don't need a trading course. You don't need to buy and sell stuff. You don't need to be a trader. You don't need to time the market. In fact, that'll wreck you. You just need some freaking patience. And so many of you are just as patient as me. And so many of you have been here for years and went through all that bullshit with the SEC. But here we are now. This is our day. Hell yeah, folks. Celebrate. Do something to celebrate tonight. Jesus, this is just, we're here, folks. It's price discovery for the first time in 7.5 years. I don't know how to express the degree to which this is a gigantic deal for XRP holders. This is a huge, huge deal. I just over the moon, as they say about it. We landed on the moon. We're on our way to the moon right now, right? Like, obviously that's happening. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap up here. Please tell me what you think in the comment section below. Just tell me how you're feeling. Just have some fun with this. I am. I hope you guys are too. Have some freaking fun with this. You deserve it, all right? We've been through hell and back. You deserve to have some fun and some celebration today. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.